We as humans are wired to want what we can't always have. It's in our nature. When something or someone is constantly available, our minds start to take them for granted. We assume they'll always be there, so we stop noticing them in the way we once did. But the moment something we value starts to become scarce, we experience a shift. Our brain goes into overdrive, trying to reclaim what feels like it's slipping away. Now think about this in the context of relationships and attraction. In the beginning, everything feels new, exciting, and full of possibility. There's mystery, unpredictability, and anticipation. Every text, every call, every meeting carries a certain energy. You're not yet an open book, and that sense of the unknown keeps emotions heightened. But as time passes, familiarity sets in, and that once thrilling anticipation starts to fade. And here's the truth most people don't understand. When you are always present, always giving, always available, you remove the very thing that makes someone crave you. Because there's no space to miss you, to wonder about you, to feel your absence in a way that creates longing. Why absence creates emotional hunger. Think about the last time you really missed someone. Maybe it was after a breakup, or maybe it was when someone you deeply cared about suddenly became distant. Whatever the case, what was it that made you miss them? Was it their constant presence? Their predictability? No. You missed them because they were gone, because there was now a space in your life that they used to fill. This is the key. If you want to be missed, you must allow space for your absence to be felt. Not in a way that is manipulative, not as a game, but as a natural part of how attraction and connection work. Absence forces the mind to reflect, idealize, and crave. The more someone sits with their thoughts about you, the stronger their emotional connection becomes. Why? Because in your absence, their mind fills in the blanks with the best parts of you. They replay the memories, the moments, the feelings, but now with nostalgia and longing. And what happens next? They start to associate you with desire, with mystery, with something they want more of, simply because you are no longer right in front of them all the time. The difference between scarcity and indifference. Now, I want to make something very clear. There's a big difference between using absence to increase desire and using absence to push someone away. The first creates emotional depth. The second creates disconnection. You don't want to make someone feel neglected or unimportant. That's not what this is about. Instead, the goal is to shift the dynamic so that the value of your presence increases. How do you do this? By breaking patterns. Most people fall into routines in relationships. They call at the same time, text throughout the day, spend time together in the same ways. But when you want to trigger emotional hunger, you must disrupt the predictability. You must allow uncertainty to creep in just enough that the other person starts paying more attention. This could be as simple as not immediately responding to texts, but instead allowing time to pass. Being less available for calls or hangouts without explanation. Engaging in activities and passions that do not revolve around them. Leaving interactions at a high point instead of dragging them out. Sometimes being the one who walks away first, leaving them wanting more. When you shift in this way, the other person starts to notice your absence. They feel the difference. They begin to ask, why aren't they as available as they were before? And in doing so, they begin to crave the connection they once took for granted. Absence amplifies your value. Let's talk about value perception for a moment. Why do luxury brands never go on sale? Why are certain items considered more desirable simply because they're hard to get? Because scarcity creates value in the human mind. If something is always available, it's assumed to be common, replaceable, and easily accessed. But if something is rare, it suddenly holds a different weight. People are willing to chase, to work harder, to go the extra mile for what they believe they can't easily have. The same principle applies to attraction in relationships. When you are always accessible, you inadvertently lower your perceived value. Not because you're any less amazing, but because the human brain naturally prioritizes what it feels is scarce. When you allow moments of absence, you're giving the other person a reason to realize your value. You're allowing them to see what life feels like without you constantly there. And if you've built strong emotional connections, those gaps will feel like voids they want to fill. How to apply this in a natural way. The key to making this work is authenticity. This isn't about games or pretense. It's about genuinely living a life where your world doesn't revolve around one person. It's about having a sense of self that is unshakable, where your happiness and fulfillment are not dependent on someone else's constant attention. To apply this in a real way, invest in your own growth. When you're busy building your life, you naturally become less available and more desirable. Have a passion outside of the relationship, whether it's a hobby, career, fitness, or personal development. These things make you intriguing and create a sense of mystery. Don't be afraid to step back. If you notice yourself giving too much, pause. Give space. Let them come to you. Let absence be part of the rhythm of connection. Just as music needs silence between notes to create a melody, relationships need moments of space to build depth. By doing this, you naturally trigger a dynamic where you are the one being missed, where the other person isn't just used to your presence, but actively wants more of it. And that's where true power in attraction lies. Have you ever noticed how certain people stay with you long after they've left the room? Maybe it's the way they made you feel, the way they spoke, or even a simple glance that carried more weight than an entire conversation. This isn't accidental. It's emotional imprinting, the ability to create moments so powerful that they embed themselves deep into someone's subconscious. Now let's be clear. When someone misses you, it's not because of how much time they spent with you. It's not because you were always there. It's because when you were, you made them feel something profound. You left an impression so strong that their mind can't help but revisit it. The science behind emotional imprinting. The human brain is wired to prioritize memories tied to strong emotions. Think about it. You may not remember what you had for lunch last Tuesday, but you remember exactly how it felt when someone broke your heart, or when you accomplished something that filled you with pride. Why? Because the brain isn't just storing facts, it's storing emotional experiences. And the stronger the emotion, the deeper the imprint. When it comes to attraction and relationships, the same principle applies. If you want someone to miss you every day, you must create experiences that their mind can't let go of. You must make them associate you with emotions so vivid, so powerful, that even in your absence, your presence lingers. How to imprint yourself in his mind. So, how do you create these deep emotional imprints? How do you ensure that when he's alone, his mind keeps circling back to you? It comes down to three key things: unexpected emotional highs, deep emotional connection, and contrast. 1, create unexpected emotional highs. Routine is the enemy of desire. If every interaction feels predictable, there's no emotional spike, and without emotional spikes, there's nothing to imprint. But when someone experiences an unexpected rush of emotion, their brain tags that moment as significant. This is why people remember their first kiss, their first love, or even a spontaneous adventure that made them feel alive. These moments break the mundane and create lasting emotional impressions. To apply this in your relationship, think about how you can create unexpected emotional highs. This doesn't mean planning grand gestures or forcing excitement. It means surprising him with something small but meaningful, a handwritten note, an inside joke, a moment of deep appreciation when he least expects it. Breaking patterns. If you always text good morning, skip a day. If you always meet at the same place, change the location. If you usually let him lead, take control for once. Adding playfulness and unpredictability. Tease him, challenge him, introduce an element of fun that keeps things fresh and engaging. When you create these emotional highs, his brain starts linking you with intensity, excitement, and joy. And when you're not around, that craving for emotional highs will make him miss your presence. 2, build deep emotional connection. Excitement alone isn't enough. If you want to be truly unforgettable, you need to go beyond surface level interactions and create a deep emotional connection. People don't miss what's replaceable. They miss what feels uniquely theirs. The secret here is simple. Be the person who makes him feel truly seen. Most people walk through life feeling misunderstood. They have dreams, fears, and insecurities that they keep hidden because they don't believe anyone would truly understand them. But when you can tap into those deeper layers, when you ask the right questions, when you listen in a way that makes him feel valued, you create something irreplaceable. To do this, pay attention to the little things. Notice what excites him, what lights up his eyes, what makes him retreat. Use this information to create moments that make him feel deeply understood. Go beyond small talk. Don't just ask how his day was. Ask what he thought about today. Ask about his childhood, his fears, his ambitions. When you make someone open up, you become woven into the fabric of their thoughts. Mirror his emotions. If he's excited, match his enthusiasm. If he's reflective, create a space where he feels safe to go deeper. When you align with someone emotionally, they feel drawn to you on a subconscious level. A deep emotional connection creates a sense of home, and when you become someone's emotional home, they can't help but miss you when you're gone. 3, use contrast to heighten the experience. Contrast is one of the most powerful tools in emotional imprinting. The reason? The brain notices change more than consistency. Imagine eating your favorite food every single day. At first, it's amazing, but over time, it becomes expected, even dull. Now imagine you take a break for a week and then have it again. Suddenly, it tastes better than ever. This is how contrast works in relationships. If you're always the same, always available, always responding instantly, always acting predictably, you remove the emotional peaks and valleys that make interactions exciting. To use contrast effectively. Give space and then re-engage. Pull back slightly and let him experience the absence of your presence. When you return, he'll feel the difference more intensely. Be soft when he expects strength and strong when he expects softness. If you're usually playful, surprise him with a deep, intimate moment. If you're usually sweet, challenge him in a way that excites him. Balance warmth and distance. Show him affection, then leave him wanting more. Create a rhythm where he never fully knows what's coming next. This push-pull dynamic triggers desire because the human brain craves contrast. It thrives on change, on novelty, on the feeling that something is just out of reach. And that's what keeps him thinking about you every day. Why emotional imprints last longer than physical presence. You might think that spending more time with someone automatically makes them miss you more when you're gone. But that's not how it works. Think of it this way. When a song gets stuck in your head, is it because you heard it 1,000 times? No. It's because it had a melody, a rhythm, or a lyric that triggered something inside you. It wasn't the quantity of plays, it was the quality of impact. That's exactly what emotional imprinting does. It ensures that even when you're not there, you still exist in his mind. That a moment, a touch, a word, a laugh from you resurfaces when he least expects it. That your presence is felt even in your absence. Confidence is not just a trait, it's a force. It's the silent, unshakable energy that demands attention without saying a word. It's what makes someone walk into a room and immediately command presence. And when it comes to attraction, confidence isn't just desirable, it's unforgettable. Now let's break this down. If you want someone to miss you every day, it won't happen because you texted them more, tried harder, or proved your worth through effort. It happens because you radiated such certainty in yourself that they couldn't help but be drawn to your presence and feel its absence when you're not there. This is why confidence is so powerful. People are naturally drawn to what they perceive as valuable. When you believe in your own worth, you communicate without words that you are someone to be valued. And when someone perceives you as valuable, they can't help but crave more of you. Why confidence triggers desire and longing. Think about someone you've been deeply attracted to in the past. What was it about them that pulled you in? Was it their looks alone, their words, or was it the way they carried themselves? The unshakable certainty they exuded. Confidence is an energy. It fills the space around you and makes people feel something. It makes them wonder about you, crave your presence, and most importantly, notice your absence when you're not there. Here's the secret. When someone radiates confidence, they create a sense of mystery and intrigue. They don't reveal everything at once, they don't seek validation, and they don't over-explain themselves. And because of this, their presence feels different. When you cultivate this level of confidence, you become magnetic. You don't have to chase. You don't have to convince someone of your worth. They feel it. And that's what makes you unforgettable. How confidence affects the way you're perceived. There are two types of people in relationships. Those who seek reassurance and those who are the reassurance. The first type constantly needs validation. They overthink, they overtext, they overexplain, and in doing so, they communicate insecurity, which unfortunately often pushes people away. The second type is so secure in themselves that they become the reassurance in someone else's life. They don't need to beg for attention because their presence alone demands it. The difference, certainty in oneself. When you embody confidence, you naturally take your time to respond instead of immediately reacting. Hold eye contact without looking away. Speak with conviction instead of seeking approval. Set boundaries without feeling guilty. Walk away from situations that don't serve you. And here's the kicker. When you operate from this mindset, people feel the difference. They sense that you're not someone who clings, chases, or begs for attention. And that realization alone makes them start chasing you. The subconscious power of someone who knows their worth. Confidence isn't just about what you say or do. It's about what you believe about yourself. If you believe you are worthy, that belief shapes every interaction you have. Here's what happens when you truly know your worth. You don't settle for half-hearted effort, and that automatically makes people respect you more. You carry yourself differently, and that difference gets noticed. You make decisions from a place of strength, which makes others perceive you as high value. Now, why does this matter when it comes to making someone miss you? Because when you are unshakable in your confidence, people feel your absence more intensely. They know they're not dealing with just anyone. They're dealing with someone rare, someone they don't want to lose. How to cultivate unshakable confidence in yourself. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. And the way to build it is through self-investment and self-trust. 1, develop a life that is bigger than any relationship. The fastest way to lose confidence in yourself is to make someone else the center of your world. When your happiness depends on another person's attention, you give away your power. Instead, cultivate a life that is so rich, so full, that your energy naturally becomes magnetic. This means pursuing passions that light you up, setting goals and achieving them, surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, prioritizing personal growth over external validation. When your life is already full, you won't feel the need to chase anyone because you are already fulfilled. And that is when people start chasing you. 2, master the art of non-reactivity. Confident people do not react emotionally to everything. They don't panic when someone takes longer to reply. They don't overanalyze every little interaction. They move through life with certainty. And that certainty makes them stand out. To embody this mindset, pause before responding. Instead of reacting instantly, take a breath and ask yourself, what would a confident person do? Detach from outcomes. Don't tie your happiness to whether or not someone gives you attention. Focus on yourself first. Let silence be powerful. Sometimes the most confident thing you can do is say nothing at all. When you become someone who isn't easily rattled, you naturally stand out because most people operate from insecurity. And when you stand out, you become someone who is impossible to forget. 3, set standards and stick to them. Confidence isn't just about presence. It's about knowing what you will and won't tolerate. A person who lacks confidence will bend their boundaries just to keep someone in their life. But a confident person, they walk away from anything that doesn't meet their standards. Without fear, without hesitation. When you have strong boundaries, you naturally command respect. You become a challenge worth pursuing. You signal that you are high value. And here's the truth. People want what they have to work for. If you accept the bare minimum, you will be treated as an option. But if you stand firm in your standards, you become a priority. Why confidence makes people miss you more. When you radiate confidence, you create an energy that is irreplaceable. People may meet others who are attractive, kind, or intelligent, but someone who owns their worth, that's rare. And what's rare is valuable. This is why confident people leave lasting impressions. They don't seek validation. They don't beg for attention. They live in a way that makes people crave their presence and feel their absence even more. Human nature is wired to value what is scarce and take for granted what is abundant. It's why luxury brands never mass produce their best products. It's why limited time offers make people rush to buy things they don't even need. It's why the moment something feels just out of reach, our desire for it skyrockets. This principle isn't just about marketing, it's hardwired into our psychology. And when it comes to relationships, the same rule applies. If you want someone to miss you every day, you must master the art of scarcity and exclusivity. You must create an energy that makes your presence feel like a rare privilege, not an expected routine. Why people value what they can't have easily. Think about the last time you really wanted something. Maybe it was a person, an opportunity, or an experience that felt just out of reach. How did it make you feel? Obsessed? Determined? Did it stay on your mind even when you were trying not to think about it? That's because scarcity creates perceived value. It taps into the fear of loss and regret. The thought of something slipping away makes us want it even more. On the other hand, when something feels too available, our minds label it as less valuable. It's why people lose interest in relationships where everything is given too easily. When someone knows they have your time, energy, and attention on demand, the urgency to appreciate it fades. This is why making yourself slightly less available in a way that feels natural and effortless creates a magnetic pull that makes someone think about you even more when you're gone. How to create scarcity and make your presence feel like a privilege. Scarcity isn't about playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about genuinely living a life so full and fulfilling that you naturally become someone who is not easily accessible. Here's how you can create the kind of presence that feels like a gift, one that he never takes for granted. 1, be unpredictable with your time and attention. If someone knows they can have access to you at any time, they stop valuing it. But if they never quite know when they'll hear from you next, you create a sense of mystery and anticipation. Don't always reply instantly. Give space between conversations, allowing curiosity to build. When you break the pattern of always being available, you shift the dynamic and make your presence feel more valuable. Be the one who ends conversations first, whether it's a text, a call, or a date. Leave while the energy is still high. This leaves him wanting more rather than feeling like the interaction dragged on too long. Keep a part of your life private. You don't have to share everything. Holding back some details creates a sense of mystery, making him want to dig deeper and invest more in getting to know you. When your attention isn't something he can predict, it becomes something he craves. 0.2, let him feel your absence. One of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships is overexposure, being around too much, too often, to the point where their presence becomes background noise. When you step back and create space, you allow someone to actually experience your absence. And that's where the missing begins. Take time for yourself without explaining. If you always update him on what you're doing, stop. Let him wonder. Let him miss you before he even realizes he does. Be busy in a way that feels natural. This isn't about faking a packed schedule. It's about genuinely having a life that doesn't revolve around him. When he sees that your world doesn't pause for him, he will start wanting more of your time. Disrupt patterns of expectation. If he's used to you always being the one to initiate conversations, hold back. If he's used to weekly meetups, skip a week. Breaking the routine makes your presence feel fresh again. When you allow someone to feel the contrast between having you and missing you, they start appreciating your presence more. 3, create the feeling that he could lose you. One of the most powerful forces in human psychology is loss aversion. The idea that people are more motivated to avoid loss than they are to gain something new. This means that the moment someone feels like they might lose you, they start valuing you 10 times more. Show that you have options. You don't have to explicitly state it, but subtly communicating that you are someone who is desired, admired, and in high demand creates a sense of urgency. Have standards that don't bend. When you set clear boundaries and don't tolerate bare minimum effort, he realizes that you are not someone who will just stick around no matter what. Keep evolving and improving. When he sees that you are constantly growing, becoming more confident, achieving your goals, and glowing with self-assurance, he will start to fear the idea of losing you to someone else who recognizes your worth. When a man starts to question whether or not he has your full attention, he begins to put in effort to keep you close. 4, make every interaction meaningful. Creating scarcity isn't just about being less available, it's about making the moments you do share feel unforgettable. Be fully present. When you're with him, give him 100% of your energy, attention, and warmth. Make the moments together feel so rich and fulfilling that when you're gone, he feels the void. Create unique experiences. A dinner date is nice, but an experience that triggers deep emotions, adventure, laughter, depth, stays on someone's mind. The more unique your interactions, the harder they are to replace. End things on a high note. When you leave while the energy is still high, you create the psychological effect of wanting more. Never let things drag to the point of boredom or routine. When every interaction with you feels rare and valuable, he will subconsciously crave your presence even more. Even why scarcity makes someone miss you every day. When something is always available, it fades into the background. But when something feels rare and exclusive, it becomes obsessive. This is why people long for past relationships only after they end, because the absence suddenly makes the presence feel valuable again. This is why people become addicted to things that feel just out of reach, because the brain fixates on what it can't fully have. And this is why when you master the art of scarcity and exclusivity, you become someone who isn't just desired in the moment, but missed every single day. People don't remember what you say as much as they remember how you make them feel. That's the secret to leaving a lasting imprint on someone's mind. If you can create powerful emotional experiences, you don't just become a memory, you become a feeling they can't shake off. Think about it. The people you miss the most in life aren't necessarily the ones you saw every day. They're the ones who made you feel something intense. Joy, excitement, passion, even longing. The deeper the emotional impact, the more unforgettable the connection. And that's exactly what you need to do if you want him to miss you every day. You need to create emotional imprints, experiences that stir up deep feelings so that even when you're not around, your presence lingers in his heart and mind. Why emotional imprints are more powerful than physical attraction. Physical attraction can spark interest, but it's emotion that sustains it. Think about this. How many people have you found attractive in your life? Probably a lot. But how many people have left an emotional mark on you? People you still think about, even years later. That number is much smaller. That's because emotional imprints create a sense of deep connection. They trigger the brain to associate a person with a powerful experience, making them nearly impossible to forget. When you create those moments, you become irreplaceable. No matter how many other people he meets, none of them will make him feel the exact way that you did. How to create emotional imprints that keep you on his mind. 1, make him feel understood in a way no one else does. People crave to be truly seen and understood. When you connect with someone on a level where they feel like you just get them, it creates an emotional bond that's hard to break. Listen with presence. Most people listen just to respond. But when you listen to truly understand him, picking up on the little details, he will feel emotionally safe around you. Remember the small things. When he mentions something important, his childhood dreams, his fears, his favorite book, bring it up later in a meaningful way. It will shock him that you actually paid attention. Acknowledge his deeper emotions. If he's struggling with something, don't just give surface level advice. Say things like, that must have been really tough for you. I can see why you feel that way. This makes him feel truly heard. When someone feels deeply understood, they start associating comfort and safety with you. which means when you're not around, they feel the absence of that. 2, trigger peak emotional states. People remember moments of high emotion more than anything else. If you create experiences that elevate his emotions, whether it's excitement, laughter, or deep passion, those moments will replay in his mind over and over again. Venture together, do something thrilling together, like a spontaneous road trip, an amusement park ride, or an outdoor adventure. Experiences that spike adrenaline create a chemical bond in the brain, making the connection feel stronger. Create unforgettable laughter. Inside jokes, playful teasing, and shared funny moments create a sense of our world, a private emotional connection that no one else shares. Make him feel like a hero. Whether it's asking for his advice, appreciating something he does, or showing admiration for his strengths, triggering the protector instinct makes a man feel valued. When you create high-energy, emotionally charged experiences, those moments get locked into his memory, making it impossible for him to forget how you made him feel. 3, leave him wanting more in every interaction. One of the biggest mistakes people make is giving too much too soon. Emotionally, mentally, and physically. The key to creating emotional imprints is to always leave just a little bit of mystery. End conversations while the energy is still high. Whether it's a deep talk, a fun banter, or a romantic moment, don't let it fizzle out. End it before it loses its intensity, leaving him wanting more. Share your thoughts and feelings gradually. Instead of revealing everything about yourself at once, drop little pieces of your story over time. This keeps him intrigued and invested in discovering more about you. Give unpredictable affection. Sometimes be warm and deeply engaged, and other times pull back slightly. This contrast makes your attention feel more valuable. When he never feels like he has you completely figured out, he will keep thinking about you, trying to decode the mystery that is you. 4, be a source of emotional growth and inspiration. One of the most powerful ways to leave a lasting impression is to be the person who challenges and inspires him to become better. If you can positively impact his life, he will always think about you as someone who added true value to his journey. Encourage his dreams. Show genuine interest in his goals and ambitions. If you help him believe in himself, he will emotionally associate motivation and success with your presence. Challenge him in a way that excites him. If you see him playing small, call him out in a playful but encouraging way. Say things like, I don't think the world is ready for how great you can be. This ignites a fire within him. Push him to be the best version of himself. If he starts slacking, remind him of his potential. Being someone's source of growth makes you unforgettable. When someone credits part of their growth and success to you, they will always feel connected to you, no matter where life takes them. 5, create a signature sensory experience. Memories are deeply tied to the senses: scent, touch, sound, and even the way you look at someone. You can use this to your advantage by creating a unique sensory experience that reminds him of you. A signature scent, whether it's your perfume, shampoo, or a candle you always burn when he's around, a specific scent can trigger memories of you when he smells it again. A particular phrase or nickname. If you call him something that no one else does, that word will become synonymous with you in his mind. The way you touch, whether it's a soft graze of your fingertips, a playful push, or a specific way you hug him, physical touch leaves a powerful emotional imprint. By associating sensory experiences with deep emotions, you create a trigger that brings you back to his mind effortlessly. Why emotional imprints make him miss you every day. When you create powerful emotional experiences, you become more than just a person, you become a feeling. And feelings don't fade easily. It's not about looking perfect, saying the right things, or following a strategy. It's about being the person who evokes the deepest emotions, the kind of emotions that stay with him long after you've left the room. When you master this, you will never have to wonder if he's thinking about you. Because he won't just think about you, he will feel you, crave you, and miss you every single day. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to make someone miss them is focusing too much on the other person. They constantly think, how can I make him miss me? What should I say? How should I act? But the real secret isn't about trying to make him miss you. It's about becoming someone so captivating, so fulfilled, and so deeply engrossed in your own life that he can't help but miss you. This is the power of self-absorption, not in a selfish way, but in a way that makes you a force of nature. When you become fully invested in your own growth, passions, and happiness, you naturally develop a magnetic energy that draws people in. You become the kind of person who is impossible to forget because you are too busy living an extraordinary life to chase after anyone's attention. Why self-absorption creates an irresistible pull. Think about the most captivating people you've ever met. Were they needy? Were they constantly checking their phones, wondering why someone hadn't texted them back? Probably not. Instead, they were deeply involved in their own mission, passions, and joy. When someone is obsessed with their own life in a fulfilling and dynamic way, they become magnetic. They radiate confidence, purpose, and excitement. They don't need validation because they are already too focused on becoming the best version of themselves. And here's the catch. When you shift your energy away from him and onto yourself, something interesting happens. He starts feeling the void of your absence. He starts wondering, what is she up to? Why isn't she thinking about me? This psychological shift makes him realize your value, not because you're chasing him, but because you're too busy being extraordinary. How to become so absorbed in your own life that he can't stop thinking about you. 1, develop an unstoppable sense of purpose. A woman who knows where she's going in life is incredibly attractive. She doesn't wait for someone to complete her because she is already whole on her own. Set bold goals for yourself. What do you want to accomplish in the next 6 months, a year, 5 years? When you have a clear vision, your energy shifts. You become someone who is on a mission. Invest in learning and self-improvement. Take a class, read new books, dive into a hobby that challenges you. The more you grow, the more fascinating you become. Align your life with your passions, whether it's fitness, art, business, or travel. Immerse yourself in the things that make you feel most alive. Passionate people are unforgettable. When a man sees that you are deeply committed to your own growth, he starts wondering if he even fits into your world. And that's when the dynamic changes. He starts wanting to be a part of your journey. 2, build a life that feels bigger than any relationship. One of the reasons people become too available and easy to take for granted is because they make the relationship their entire world. But when your life is so rich and fulfilling that a relationship is just the cherry on top, you instantly become more desirable. Prioritize your friendships. A strong social life makes you seem more dynamic and well-rounded. Plus, when you're busy having fun, he'll start missing you even more. Have experiences that don't involve him. Take trips, go on adventures, and create amazing memories without him. This makes him see that your happiness is not dependent on his presence. Stay unpredictable. When your life is constantly evolving, you keep him intrigued. If he can't predict your every move, he will stay hooked on trying to figure you out. When you live a life that feels full, with or without him, he will start realizing that he has to step up if he wants to be a part of your world. 3, cultivate an energy of self-assurance. Confidence isn't about thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about knowing that you are enough exactly as you are. When you carry yourself with a deep sense of self-worth, you automatically command attention, detached from the outcome. The moment you stop worrying about whether he misses you is the moment he starts to. When you're no longer emotionally invested in seeking his attention, he feels the shift. Own your uniqueness. What makes you different? What are your quirks, talents, and perspectives that make you special? The more you embrace them, the more irresistible you become. Hold yourself like a queen. Walk into every room like you belong there. Speak with certainty. Carry yourself in a way that says, I don't chase, I attract. When a woman moves through life with self-assurance, she becomes unforgettable. She doesn't need validation because she knows her worth comes from within. 4, make your absence feel like a loss. Scarcity creates value. When something feels too easy to access, people take it for granted. But when they feel like they could lose it, they suddenly want it more. Take a step back from being overly available. If you're always the first to text, call, or make plans, pull back. Give him the space to realize what life feels like without you. Let him wonder about you. When you're not constantly updating him on what you're doing, his curiosity will grow. If he has to wonder where you are, who you're with, and what's on your mind, you stay on his mind. Let him feel the contrast. When you do show up, bring amazing energy, but then disappear again. This push and pull dynamic keeps him hooked, always wanting more. When you remove yourself just enough, you give him the space to miss you. And in that space, his mind starts filling with thoughts of you. 5, radiate an energy that demands attention. True magnetism isn't about looks, it's about energy. When your energy is electric, people can't help but be drawn to you. Stay in a high vibrational state. Happiness, confidence, and excitement are contagious. When you walk into a room glowing with positive energy, you become impossible to ignore. Embody effortless confidence. You don't need to seek attention. You simply command it by being completely comfortable in your own skin. Become the woman who lights up the room. Whether it's through laughter, storytelling, or just a powerful presence, become unforgettable. When you exude a powerful magnetic energy, he won't just miss you, he'll feel like he needs you in his life. Why self-absorption makes him miss you every day. When you stop focusing on making him miss you and start focusing on becoming the most vibrant, fulfilled, and magnetic version of yourself, the entire game changes. He starts feeling your absence because you are no longer easily accessible. He starts craving your presence because you radiate a kind of confidence and self-love that is rare. You don't have to play games. You don't have to chase. You just have to become the kind of woman who is too busy loving her own life to worry about whether or not someone else is thinking about her. And that's when he won't just miss you, he'll obsess over you.